What are some of your random thoughts on physics? 1. Application of geometry in physics. 2. What is existence? 3. Order system compatibility law. 4. The time point and method of system-level natural selection. 5. What is true efficiency? 6. Extermination of different natures has different meanings. 1. Application of geometry in physics. 1. Matter is mass. Mass is the only physical existence of matter. Energy is not a material entity itself, but only an existent state of mass. Information is also only a state of existence of mass. Mass and energy are not interchangeable. But energy and information are interchangeable. Comparisons between things require a category-dimensional class matching. The symmetry of an object with its mirror image is strictly antisymmetry. It is asymmetrical. It is only after one more reflection that the antisymmetry can become the symmetry of the object. 2. The shortest line connecting two points on a plane is a straight line. Points, lines, and planes in plane geometry are abstract, ideal points, lines, planes, not strict descriptions of real objects. The application of the principles of plane geometry is only the application of principles. The shortest line that connects two points on a curved surface is a curve. The straight lines on the curved surface are all curves. This curve represents the curvature of the surface between these 2 points. The shortest line connecting 2 points in space is a straight line. Spatial homogeneity, spatial isotropy, for the space itself, unchanged under any conditions. This is the essential characteristic of space as an immaterial, non-matter, existence. Space is immaterial, non-matter existence. Space itself cannot have curvature. 2. What is existence? Short answer. Existence is objective existence. Any non-objective existence is pseudo-existence. Objective existence consists of immaterial, non-matter, existence and material existence. Immaterial existence is made up of time and space. There is only one substance in matter existence, mass. There are 2 forms of existence in material existence. One is thermodynamic existence, which is the basic form of matter existence, which is a concentrative dissipative structure, which is the only spontaneous and permanent continuation form of matter existence. In any case, the continuity of its spontaneous dynamic balanced continuation is not affected. The thermodynamic existence derives out information existence. It is the matter existence form derived in the process of the thermodynamic existence. It is a dissipative structure. It spontaneously serves the thermodynamic existence dynamic balanced continuation. In the natural order, information existence has only a thermodynamic meaning, not an information meaning of its own. In the natural process, it is just the process information. Matter is mass. Mass is the only physical substance existence of matter. Energy is not a material entity itself, but only an existent state of mass. Information is also only an existent state of mass. Mass and energy are not interchangeable. But energy and information are interchangeable. Comparison between things requires dimensional homogeneity. Concise explanation. Order, entropy, value, they are the same thing. They are all terms for the expression of different functions of the same basic concept of thermodynamics. There are 2 basic forms of order, energy order and information order. The order spontaneously transforms between these 2 basic forms according to different thermodynamic peripheral thermodynamic potential energy conditions, general and extreme conditions, that is, non-black hole conditions and black hole conditions. Entropy is negative order, so you just need to replace the concept of entropy with the concept of order to use it. Entropy is negative order, and negative entropy is positive order. In the same way, value is the natural order in the existent state of mass, and negative value is the disorder of the natural order in the existent state of mass. Value can be divided into energy value, system value, and information value. Energy value is the order of the degrees of freedom of movement of mass. System value is the coevolution of energy value and information value in the system-formed systematic order. The information value is the structure and mode of motion of mass transformed from the energy value in the system with the support of the system value. Order is the order of existent state of mass. Order can be divided into natural order and man-made order. Man-made order can be divided into rational man-made order and irrational man-made order. The natural order is an order that arises spontaneously. It is naturally stable, it does not change itself on its own. The man-made order is the order derived from the natural order. It is a product of evolution. While natural order evolves out intelligence, man-made order arises from intelligence. The man-made order is produced by the natural order through the intelligence it directly produces, and the natural order indirectly produces the man-made order through the intelligence. The natural order directly produces the man-made social system from the natural system. Whereas rational, man-made, order is order system compatible matched only in man-made social systems, and therefore rational. The natural order indirectly produces the rational man-made order through the man-made social system. The man-made order destroys the natural system, but in the natural social system, the natural balancing mechanism formed by natural order can still control the destructive effect from the man-made order to a tolerable range within the scope of the natural balancing mechanism. But in the development stage of the man-made social system, because the man-made order has disabled the natural balancing mechanism, and the rational balancing mechanism of the rational man-made order has not been established. So, in this stage of social development, the destruction of the natural system by the man-made order operation mode of the man-made social system is not inhibited by the negative feedback mechanism. So, the destructive effect of the man-made order to the natural systems it reaches cannot be inhibited by negative feedback mechanisms of any kind, natural or man-made. Natural one disabled but rational man-made one hasn't established yet. More explanations. Space is the void, which contains the existence and movement of matter, and although itself is an objective existence, it is not an objective existence of matter but an immaterial, non-matter, objective existence, and both immaterial objective existence and material objective existence have no beginning and no end, no discontinuity, no scope boundary, it is an unconditional continuity. But immaterial objective existence differs from material objective existence in that immaterial objective existence does not interact with anything, whether material or immaterial, it is not a physical substance existence, so it does not move and change. It is constant under all conditions. Spatial homogeneity, i.e. spatial isotropy. So, the space itself has no curvature. The so-called curvature of space is simply the curvature of the presence of matter in space. Time uniformity, temporal isotropic, time arrow directionality, unchanged under any conditions. This is the essential characteristic of time as a non-matter existence. It must be explained here that temporal isotropy refers to the constancy of a truth at any point in time on a directional time axis. This is the true temporal isotropy. This does not mean that the directionality of time can be changed. The directionality of time is determined by the nature of time itself. It does not change under any conditions, that is, the directionality of time is time and space isotropic. The uniformity of time and space itself is determined by the nature of its immaterial, non-matter, existence. The directionality of time is determined by the nature of time, and whether a certain truth conforms to the isotropy of time and space is determined by the nature of this truth itself, i.e. the phenomenon truth is not isotropic in time and space, but the essence truth is. Time is the process of material existence and movement, and although it itself is objectively existent, it is not a material objective existence but a non-matter objective existence, which has no beginning or end, no discontinuity, no scope boundary, it has unconditional continuity. The directivity of time, which is that the arrow of time does not change under any conditions, reflects the irreversibility of the process of the existence and movement of matter. Time is non-matter existence, so it cannot express itself, and time can only be expressed by the process of matter existence. For example, the process of the vibration frequencies of atoms in an atomic clock is indirectly and approximately simulating time. When you find that the time expression of the atomic clock in the space is different from the time expression of the atomic clock on the surface of the Earth, this does not indicate a change in time, only a change in the frequency of atomic vibrations caused by different environmental conditions, e.g. weightlessness, temperature. An objective law must conform to the uniformity of time and space, and the temporal and spatial isotropy, otherwise it is not an objective law. Objective laws are absolute laws. Space and time are non-matter existence. As immaterial existences, they cannot express and measure themselves, they depend on material existence to do so. But the characteristic feature of the material existence is that they can change, they interact with each other. So, when you find the measure of space or time is changed, you should find the reason for that in matter existence but not non-matter existence. Therefore, speed with time, gravity with space, etc. They are independent of each other in their own right, they have no cause-effect relations or relevancies whatsoever. Non-matter existence has no inherent thing to do with matter existence. Don't be silly, humankind has no time to waste, not this moment of exponential progression of system destruction. Use man-made order to make man-made structure is a disordering of the system value which is the natural order in the existent states of mass. So, the economic activity's meaning of construction is in thermodynamic terms the true destruction. And the disordering of the man-made order on the basic level of the natural order such as on the molecular level structure is very dangerous and harmful. The typical examples are the carbon or silicon halogen compound CX, etc. These things don't naturally happen, and nature cannot decompose them naturally neither, and they are also difficult to depollute by man-made methods due to the processes is thermodynamically irreversible that makes this depollute process economically very expensive. And any economically profitable depollution activity is self-cheating, because such a process is contrary to the laws of thermodynamics. The laws that require additional conditions are all relative laws, they are not time and space isotropic. For example, the second law of thermodynamics can be referred to as the relative law. The condition for its establishment is, under normal conditions. The second law of thermodynamics, with conditions attached, becomes part of the fundamental law of thermodynamics. It is, under normal conditions, the thermodynamic entropy is constantly increasing. Its symmetry is that under extreme conditions, the thermodynamic entropy is constantly decreasing. The connotation of the fundamental law of thermodynamics is expressed as follows: matter exists in its thermodynamically stable state. The denotation of the fundamental law of thermodynamics is expressed as follows: the thermodynamic entropy is constantly increasing under normal conditions, which is, under the condition that the ambient thermodynamic potential is normal. In the case of extreme conditions, which is, where the ambient thermodynamic potential is extreme, the thermodynamic entropy is constantly decreasing. Explanation of thermodynamic terms. Extreme conditions here refer to the thermodynamic potential energy conditions in black holes. The normal conditions here refer to the thermodynamic potential energy of any non-black hole condition in the universe. 3. Order system compatibility law. Short answer. Our biological existence needs natural order to order, and the present man-made social existence needs rational order to order, which is the order system compatibility law that our survival must obey. Explanations. The conditions for the survival and development of human beings and the meaning of human existence lie in the physical causes. It is not a biological problem. Human beings are information existence, and in the natural order-directed natural process, information existence is a discrete and finite process. The natural process of information existence is a closed natural process. There are two forms of existence in matter existence. One is thermodynamic existence, which is the basic form of matter existence, which is a concentrative dissipative structure. It is the only spontaneously formed eternal matter existence. In any case, the continuity of its spontaneous dynamic balance is not affected. Thermodynamic existence derives the information existence. It is the form of matter existence derived in the process of thermodynamic existence. It is a dissipative structure. It spontaneously serves the dynamic balance of thermodynamic existence continuation. In the natural order, information existence has only a thermodynamic meaning, not an informational meaning of its own. In the natural process, it is just the process information. Natural processes spontaneously develop intelligence for human beings, developing rational faculties. Human society spontaneously develops into a man-made social system. But the natural process guided by the natural order at this stage of information evolution, point of intelligence, or say the stage of development of man-made social systems, is only to destroy this man-made social system and the natural support systems in its range with the spontaneously stable natural order which can never spontaneously change itself to suit the man-made social system. The natural order is naturally stable, but it can only order the natural system, while it cannot spontaneously change itself to adapt to this man-made social system produced by natural evolution. In this way, a major contradiction naturally arises, the contradiction between the natural order and man-made systems. This contradiction is unsolvable in the natural order. The natural order can never be changed naturally, and the man-made system is the work of the natural order, a thermodynamically irreversible process. The natural solution is necessarily the destruction of the system. This is the first time in a local system that a system-level mechanism of natural selection has been formed. This mechanism requires the naturally occurred rational abilities to rely on one's own rationality to solve this problem, to get through the screening mechanism of natural selection. That's the problem we're facing. Since the connection of the information existence processes is unnatural, it is the rational process guided by the man-made rational order that can connect the existence and development processes of information existence. And the man-made social system is the material condition for the emergence of the rational order. Therefore, the destruction of the man-made social system eliminates the possibility of the existence of a rational order. Thus, the level of information evolution of this local system is controlled to the level below the level of man-made system, to be capped to a natural system. And this local system, which is controlled at, capped at, the level of the natural system, will be recycled into energy by the black hole of the local galaxy after a long astronomical period of time, and the mass of it will start its next round of information evolution. Therefore, the information existence under the natural order does not have its own information existence meaning, it can only realize its thermodynamic meaning for the thermodynamic existence it served. Our current human society has developed to the stage of development of the man-made social system, and the spontaneously stable natural order is destroying our man-made social system, and using the natural order, man-made social system contradiction locks the whole human race into another order system contradiction, which is, using the man-made order to destroy the natural support systems in range. To put it bluntly, nature has locked human beings into a stable behavioral strategy of, everyone acts according to his own best of the present interest, and using our economic and technological means to irreparably destroy the natural order in the state of existence of mass, on which our survival and evolution depend, to control the level of information evolution to be below the level of man-made systems, as the natural state of social existence. Our continued existence is unnatural because the natural order and the natural processes it guides do not allow it. Natural selection at the systemic level requires us to discover the laws of nature and apply them to our social practices to keep our existence and evolution going forever. This is called eternal life. 4. The time point and method of system-level natural selection. Point of intelligence, or point of entropy decrease, which point is the key point for natural selection. You might think that point of entropy decrease is the decisive point that the nature erases all information to filter out the meaningful information, though it is not the case. If you can pass the point of intelligence, the local system's information summit as the essence of this round of information evolution of this local system had already got the chance to evolve to the level that the point of entropy decrease cannot impose its effect on this essence information. The point of entropy decrease only can impose its effect on the information that is natural, therefore passive to this natural process, therefore cannot escape the gravity captivity and recycling like the rest of the local system mass. The key point of natural selection is at the point of intelligence. Once the summit of the information evolution of the local system is able to pass this natural selection mechanism, it will be able to use the rest of the value reserve of the local system to evolve to the information ordering level, a totally different existence state, to survive into the endless future. Its capability will be able to survive the present level of life UN survivable environment conditions and travel the way the present life cannot imagine, definitely not by technology-made equipment but just by itself. The entropy reduction point is the recycling point, which does not select but just recycle only. An intelligence point is a selection point that only selects but not recycle. Advanced civilization uses as less energy as possible but not use as much as possible. So, the assumption that civilization can be classified by how much energy you can control is ridiculous. This kind of ignorant, greedy, and shallow, intelligent life will be self-extinguished very soon in an irreversible process. We are natural subsystems as biological beings, our ordering depending on natural order ordering, though our social system is man-made system that depending on the rational order ordering. Survival is a process of adaptation between a natural subsystem with its natural environment but not a natural subsystem manipulation with unwillingly over-exploitation on its natural supporting systems with its man-made order means such as economy and technology. That is not a way to survive but to self-extermination. You can't survive by violating the laws of nature, which can only lead to perdition. We are natural subsystems, therefore, our future depends on the adaptation between natural systems, which is the ordering of the natural order. If you consider yourselves the top-notch human beings, second to none, you are competing well so far, probably you may not be too wrong. But even so, that only can make you survive to the last, on the Earth, or even in the solar system, but not good enough for you to survive into the endless future. You will still be the process information, to be recycled by nature and become the evolution waste. All lives in natural order-led natural process have only one fate, to be recycled into energy to serve the thermodynamic existence balanced continuation. This means that you may be the best, but you're just the best evolution waste. You have tried everything you can to survive to the last, but your information still can't reach the endless future. You are still the process information, but not the effective information. You are only quantitatively different from the others but not qualitatively so, therefore, your fate is not essentially different in the end. To survive into the future, which is the real future in scientific terms but not the next moment as the folks' language means, you have to be extraordinarily good to be able to use the rational order to run this already highly man-made social system, and under that kind of order-system relation, realize natural order ordering of ourselves and our supporting natural systems in range for the next 1.2 billion years to get there. That is the hardest thing to realize for any intelligent life species in the universe. That is what the natural selection selects in the man-made social system evolution stage. So actually, for life, there is only one natural selection point, the point of intelligence, which is the man-made social system stage of an intelligent life species. That is, whether the collective of this intelligent life species is able to use their rational ability to achieve the rational order of their social system when they are in the stage of the man-made social system. Social Darwinism had obsoleted in the man-made social system stage of information evolution. Someone may worry in the rationalism social system people will be suppressed of their initiation of competition for getting more wealth and more power than others by using technology and economic means, but that is exactly what need to be forbidden in the man-made social system to allow this intelligent life species to pass this natural selection point. No one should use more system value than necessary that is regulated by this rational order rule of this man-made social system. Otherwise, it will just be a process of competition to the collective extinction. This process is purely involutional. That's because the value of the system in any local system is limited nature given, and human activities are not only unable to create value but only can irreversibly deplete and destroy value at a high rate. We can only rely on the natural transformation of material value into information value, to connect the processes of information existence in order to reach the future. So, to destroy value is to commit collective suicide. Economic and technological activities are in man-made order, which can only irreversibly destroy true value. What is obtained in this process is the use value, the utility for human use, and human beings use the material power of this use value to compete with all their strength to serve the purpose of this involution. It's a dead end. In rationalism social system, we compete to contribute thinking information and we will be able to evolve better in biological information. The only thing we need to forbid is the competition for using more material value than others. And only in this social condition, we all can have the maximum individual freedom and form a peaceful, happy, efficient social environment condition that can lead us into the endless future in the sustainable process. In a rational social system, we strive to make full use of the effective evolution time given by nature to make the natural evolution of our thinking and biological information. This is the only effective means of natural order ordering of ourselves as the subsystem of our own natural system. But technology and economy are in man-made order, and instead of ordering human beings, they can only disorder us and our natural support systems. This can only lead to our extinction. Technology and economy are the means of competition for power in human society in the natural order, not the means by which we move towards the future in the rational order. 5. What is true efficiency? Only the efficiency that enables us to survive on into the endless future is true efficiency, and all the efficiency that makes us unable to survive is pseudo-efficiency. The efficiency we need is the value information conversion efficiency, which the optimal efficiency is the natural order-led natural process achieved efficiency N equals EQ, but not the economic and technological means caused value destruction efficiency equals $Q. It is the information value E that can connect the processes, but the equals Q that cut short and cut off the process. Is the man-made use value, and the man-made use value is the negative value Q. This negative value Q not just cancels out the equal absolute value of the value Q, but it can destroy much more value in the process than it can cancel out in the process. The fact is that we are a stupid species. We haven't understood the most basic and the simplest laws of nature, and far below the standard of natural selection. We cannot get into the future this way, no way. Our goal should be to use the limited nature-given system value Q to the nature-given full-length evolution time T to reach the highest level of information evolution E we can reach to reach the future, but not the stupid prosperity to hurry to extinction. 6. Extermination of different natures has different meanings. Previous extinctions were all natural order ordering natural systems. This time it is the natural order disordering the man-made system and the man-made order disordering the natural supporting systems in range. Therefore, don't expect the similar result as the previous extinctions to come out a better world, but it will be the real end for us.